Howdy, as they say here in Texas. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Guerraindawn. I'm your host, John Guerra, and I know what you're thinking. Why am I dressed like this? I look ridiculous. Listen here. With our new intro we have with the man, Jermey Parsons, performing it for us, I couldn't help but get in the mood, and look at me now. It's like it just naturally happened. But before we get straight into the episode with Mr. Parsons, go ahead and check out our sponsor for today, Bucked Up. Get your energy, get that extra boost, those long days. You want to feel immortal? We'll do it all with Bucked Up. Use code Topic for 15% off on all purchases. They have so many deals, guys. It's a steal. Go out there, get it done. Let's get straight into the episode and hear that good old music.
And I can't go on, I can't go on like this, just dwelling on it.
Like this,
Used to be, I can fix these halls and patch these walls, but there's no
Let's get straight into the episode, guys.
There's a memory.
You know, funny thing. Do you drink like energy drinks?
No, I'm really I'm sensitive to energy drinks. I have to completely avoid them or I feel like I will just have a panic attack.
Yeah. Some of them is like that's like a really weird thing. So I have a Celsius right here. I'm gonna have to blur this out, but I have a Celsius, and for a long time I would never feel it like when I drink it. But for some reason, recently this year, like every time I drink it, like I get like very nervous, and I just like feel like everything kind of like really elevate, and I can't just sit down. Like my body like starts like moving a lot. It makes no
Yeah.
sense. I don't know how it just randomly happened.
Well, I mean, I think you're as we get older, everything changes and I think we have to kind of adapt. It's just like, you can do something in your 20s, you do it 10 years later, you throw your back out. Like, it's the
Sure.
simple, like the little things. I mean, I don't know how old you are. Like I'm 37. So like as I've aged, like, with traveling and stuff, and I lift speakers and all sorts of stuff all the time, like I have to do everything different now. When I was in my 20s, I just throw it up there, be like, oh, it's fine. I'll be fine tomorrow. Not
Yeah, but it's
anymore.
not about tomorrow. It's
Ex-
about a few years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Longevity.
You drink coffee?
I drink, man, coffee's kind of an addiction for me, so I like go back
Mm-hmm.
and forth. I'll drink, like I had a cup yesterday, but today I've tried like cacao and I drink like right now I'm on the mushroom stuff. I'm just trying all that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like Rise is the one that I've tried now. I've tried another one and I could tell it tasted healthy, which is probably good if I could bring myself to drink it. Like I'm not trying to, have an
Mm-hmm.
unpleasant morning of trying to force myself to drink a cup of something,
Yeah.
uh but like with the mushroom stuff, it's not it's kind of got it's a leaning toward chocolatey taste. Like it tastes like the cacao was easy to drink because that's just like it's just rich, like a darker chocolate
Mhm.
substance. It's more bitter. But yeah, the mushroom stuff is good, and I still put like a little creamer in there. But like, I love coffee, maybe too much.
Do you think like okay, so I would always tell people this. Like at some point, do you think it's like not even about the coffee anymore? It's just about a taste. Like it's not even about the caffeine anymore. It's just about like you want to just taste it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's a sign of something too. Like because it's still
Yeah.
got the caffeine in it. It depends on what you're drinking though. Like if you're having like a very like moderate cup, like not some high potency like triple octane, 6 espresso shot beverage like every time, like that's probably fine. But if you're out there like down in those, like it's like the heavy duty energy drinks, it's pretty
Hmm.
much like it feels like a dessert version of that. Like because it's like an adult hot chocolate. You know what I'm saying? Like you wanted to
Yeah.
like have it. You'd have as many cups of hot chocolate you wanted as a kid, and if no one would stop you, you'd keep going.
About hot chocolate. Something I used to always do. I would get chocolate milk. Like when I was little, my parents would buy. We didn't buy the actual chocolate milk. We bought the separate chocolate milk. So it'd be like the milk and the thing, like the bottle of chocolate. So what I used to
Okay,
do, and
like
this
the
was
the squeeze bottle.
yeah, like the little squeeze bottle, and it was like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
Hershey's something. And
yeah.
what I did was dangerous. I would in the middle of the night, I would get up and I'd sneak to the fridge and I'd open it and I'd take out the big thing and I'd just like start taking it down, just straight down, just pure chocolate. And man, it was devious, but I loved it.
Yeah, I was that way with like whipped cream though. You talk about mixing those things to get like you get like some ice cream and
Oh,
just like even the little cups. Like you get the little ice cream cups and you can like put whipped cream and chocolate sauce on it. You just got this like little cup of awesome the whipped cream tower like this tall or something like that.
yeah, you would. It's crazy. Like you just create some random things, and hey, it was amazing. Like you just really enjoyed it.
It's like yeah, it's like it's your childlike masterpiece type deal, and you can get weird with hot chocolate too, man. You can put all sorts of stuff in there. It's kind of fun like that. Like when you have an afternoon, you're like, oh, what am I gonna make for lunch? And you have like deli meat, and you have bread, and you have like all these other condiments. You're like, I can combine something here. I got this like
Hmm.
guacamole spread. I'm gonna put that on there. I'm gonna have like a turkey avocado sandwich or something.
Yeah, it's you can create some crazy stuff up. One of my favorite things I would always create, and man, this was like thinking about it now. I don't even know if I could eat this anymore. I would get, you know how you ever had like a Big Mac from, like McDonald's?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know how like the bread's in the middle?
Uh huh.
I didn't know that for a long time. That's why I called it Big Mac. But I would get a like a peanut butter sandwich, and what I would do is I would toast three things of bread, and I would lather it peanut butter, and then I'd put all this chocolate and caramel in it, and that was what I would eat when I got home from I believe like middle school every day. That was my lunch,
That's
and man,
that's amazing. That's a
yeah,
that's a that's a that's a baller snack. That's like one of those. That's if no one touches your peanut butter sandwich because it's got the special stuff in it. That's
yeah, no one's gonna want it.
yeah, yeah. Because it's just to them it's just it's under the guise of a regular peanut butter sandwich. But little do they know.
Yeah, they're gonna taste that caramel and chocolate real quick.
Yeah, that's okay. So you were very big on sweets. That's what I'm gathering here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was, and then I cut it out. Oh man, I cut it out because it was just getting out of hand. You know sometimes like when you're just like, what am I doing? Like, what is this? It's like the
Yeah.
third time today. I'm just doing this just to do it. I don't. It's like I don't even want to. I'm not even enjoying this. I'm just doing it because it's what I know to do. So it's like, gosh, I gotta stop.
That's like
Yeah,
the same it's like a more lighthearted version of having like a conversation with an alcoholic or a drug addict. Really is what it
yeah.
is. Was
I'm
it like
hearing this right
what
now. I'm like, hey,
you're over here with your chocolate and caramel sauce. There's some dude walking by with a Jack Daniels bottle going like, "Oh man."
yeah.
That's awesome.
Uh, yeah, it's like I had a moment one time where I would get mints, and mints could get dangerous, especially like the ones that's like where you just like chew it, and it's like a what are they called? They're not like the actual like gum. It's like the actual mint.
Yeah, I
Like you
know
just
what you're
eat it.
talking about. They're like the soft ones.
Yeah. Well, I would get
Yeah.
the like kind of candy ones, and it had like flavor like strawberry and all that, and oh my goodness, like
Oh, okay.
gosh,
Okay. Yeah.
it would. I would take the whole thing down within like an hour. Get the whole big thing. I'd eat all of it.
Yeah, I
Man, like
always
I
thought it
couldn't
was like
stop.
such a big deal because like you were always so used to like the red peppermints. Like everybody had the
Mhm.
red peppermints everywhere, like the red stripe. But when you like went somewhere and they had the green stripes,
Oh
which I
yeah, it
guess is
was
like the wintergreen or spearmint or whatever, like you were like, oh man, these are gold.
yeah. And then you just take it somewhere, and everyone wanted a piece. So you were like that guy.
Yeah, yeah, you just got a pocket full of green mints.
Yeah. Yeah, if you had a mint, anyone would listen to you. You became the center of attention. And
Yeah,
I saw it. I always said I was never that guy. I was never the guy that had the mint on me. So it was like a big downfall for me in school. Like also, talkies were pretty big for a while, and I never had them. I never had them. I was always on the other side looking in at everyone that was enjoying the moment.
right, right. Well, I mean, there's takes all kinds, right? Like some people go out there and you're like watching them, like it's like okay, it's like a case study, you know. You're
Mm-hmm.
watching people. There's people who do this stuff, and there's people who watch the people do this stuff, and they go, "Oh, that looks interesting. I might do that." Or you go like, "Oh, that looks awful. I won't be doing that." You know, it's
Mm-hmm. You gotta learn. You gotta learn from them.
yeah.
But man, did you go to school here in San Antonio too?
I went to school. Yeah, I did. I bounced around a little bit. I went to a couple private schools and a couple public schools.
Mm.
When I was younger, I went to a place called St. George Episcopal, and then I switched schools. I think once in elementary and then once again in middle school. I went to Bronze Station Elementary School, which is like right up from my house. And then in middle school, I went to Stevenson Middle School. And then for high school, I went to O'Connor for a little bit. And then got
Mm.
transferred to a private school over in the medical center called Winston School San Antonio. And I finished out
So
high school there.
how was it going from public to private? I was always curious. I've never been to a private school, so
Man,
I don't know.
it was wild. Like they don't you don't really know what's going on like when you're a kid, but as you got older, uh it was seemingly like ahead of public school curriculum. So like
Mm-hmm.
when I first left, I left like I did pre-K and first grade at a private school, and it was just like expensive. Like so I think looking back like it was important to I think it was probably my mom and my family to like go to like a school like that, but like we couldn't really afford it. So it was like an issue, which didn't see like just put me in public school. If you can't afford it, just put me in public
Yeah.
school. Because it's weirder for me to have to keep changing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But luckily it was like in my neighborhood every time, so I kind of knew everybody like from the neighborhood. So that made it a little easier, but it was like still weird. But it was like it seemed like the curriculum because like I felt stressed at the private schools, but when I would transfer to public, I was way ahead.
Yeah.
Like so,
Yeah.
I was doing work I'd already done essentially. So I was like, oh, I already know all the answers, and I'm not cheating. Like this is just we've just done this. Um,
Yeah.
so it was interesting. I didn't like it. I think I would have much rather just stayed. I think I would have rather stayed in a public school because like all my friends were there and it was closer to the house and it would have just been fine and they could have saved the money, you know. uh
Mm-hmm.
but I think it was some people, you know, have these certain ideas for how things should be even if they don't have the means to make that happen sometimes, so it's kind of uh I find it kind of pathetic looking back. Like I guess it was nice that they made a sacrifice for my education, but if that was the only reason, that's nice. But I don't think it was looking back. But yeah,
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah. Public school also, that's where all the action was. That's where
It
all the
was
big stuff happened. That's what it was all about.
right.
To me, private school was always about the education, but public school is where you found out about everything. You got the social life. Like we would have private school kids coming over after school just to see what's going on, because
Yeah,
you're stuck in the books all the time. You want to see what the action's about. You want to see who transferred, who went somewhere else during the summer, especially like when you would go over when you were younger. Like when during the summertime, I didn't really have like social media, especially when I was growing up. So I was like, you didn't know what was going on. You didn't know who did what during the summer. So you'd come back and it would be like a new season of a TV show or something happening. Like you never knew what happened. Who went out of town, who went to
yeah. You
Florida,
had
who
to
went to the
get you had to
beach.
get updates, see who had growth spurts. Like some of them
Yeah,
were more obvious than others, obviously. But you're like, this is yeah. You're right.
yeah. I
That's
would.
exactly how it goes. In private school, there's this what there's smaller classes, so you're more watched too.
Mm-hmm.
So like for the people that were like high energy, like I was like I'd finish my work and then I was like ping 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 around the classroom. So like I could lay low in a bigger class. Obviously, like all teachers have like this sixth sense of like I know what you're doing all the time. I see you. I know you don't think I do, but I see you. Like my fiance's a former teacher and my sister's a teacher. So like they don't miss anything. Like we thought we were smooth when we were younger, but they were like, we see it all. You didn't get away with anything, man.
Yeah. Do you think that the students were more like bonded together in private schools?
No, I don't think so at all. I think a lot of the students were what I noticed, a lot of the students in private schools were just
Like head
I,
down kind of thing?
it man, it was it's interesting because it seems like it was this really like private schools are traditionally like they try to tell you that it's for like a certain type or a certain like class of person. Like if you ever watch like an old movie of like 1800s England, like there's the people who have the like going out parties like when they're 18 and they're looking for suitors and stuff like that. It's kind of like it's that weird mindset of like they're like up on this huge hierarchy, and they technically are because
Mm-hmm.
like some of us were there on scholarships. Like if you had like certain like if you tested like with a high IQ or anything like that, you could get a break financially, or had something you were bringing to the table. And I don't really know what that means even as I say it out loud. But the
Yeah.
um yeah, it was this weird mindset of like, oh, I have to impress my papa. It's like he's counting on me. It's this weird mindset of like you're not you do, you are your individuality has already been taken from you because you're trying to impress this person, or like they're putting this pressure on you because you're there. Like, don't mess it up
Mm-hmm.
at this school. This is all you got. I was like, this isn't Harvard Law. We're kids. It's which I never had that problem because I like school. Like, I respect the establishment. I respect the teachers. Like, I respect what it's there for. But for me, I was like, I'm not going to use. I didn't know I was going to be a musician at the time, but I knew that I, for some reason, wasn't going to use the bulk of what I was learning. Did I
Mm-hmm.
like learning it? Like, I like history. I like all that. I was like basic algebra is easy for me. It always has been. Like, there's some aspects of science which I really like appreciate, but like we're not all interested in everything we're taught.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully, you find something you are interested in, so it's not like it doesn't feel like like you're just drowning in a
Yeah.
sea full of other people that are like you have to be there. Um, But yeah, that was a weird thing seeing like it was just more chill in a public school. Like you feel like you got to be a kid there, and over here there was this thing where it was like hanging over you, which is just awful. Like I mean, nobody in general should have to really deal with that, but like especially a kid. And like I said, I never had that problem. I just saw it. I was like, I don't, we're all here. Let's just try to make it through.
Yeah. Let's all try to do this together.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not try to make this any harder than it has to be, guys. All right?
Yeah. Man. Yeah. And then you go over to public school and it's like, man, the teachers are telling you, like, hey, get out of here. You don't have to be here anymore.
Yeah,
I
well, I
remember I
mean,
would
some
see
of
all
the
the time,
teachers
man.
are openly like I remember when I transferred, so in 7th grade, so I missed my whole 7th grade year because I started having seizures for some reason. Like I would have these like I would just start to convulse out of nowhere. Like they think it was some kind of chemical poisoning or something, but it was on and off for like my whole 7th grade year. So I had to leave. If I went back to private school, I had to go back into the 7th grade, so all my friends would be a year ahead of me and would be
Yeah.
gone by the time I finished, right? And I would just also be like the oldest dude in the class, but I could
This can't
transfer
happen.
back. Yeah, I could transfer back to middle school or to a public school and be in the 8th grade, the same grade as my friends. But
Mhm.
obviously at a different school, but I would still be with my neighborhood friends who were the same age. And so that's what I did. And I went back in there. I remember I had a science teacher, and uh, I can't remember his name at all, which is probably a good thing. But like that dude, I can remember him walking by me one day, and I was like, what is that smell? And I remember as I got older and I started drinking, I was like, that was that smell. I was like, this dude was like rolling in here just like intoxicated to teach us science. And it was funny too because he was like one of my favorite teachers. And I was like, this dude was just
Hey.
lit the whole class. And that's why I was like, oh yeah, man, I like this guy's energy. Let's do this.
Little did you know, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
It
an
was
early
cool.
morning.
It was
Uh,
everyone's got their coping mechanisms as long as he's not hurting
yeah.
anybody. Yeah.
I always said we had some wild science teachers. It's always the science teachers, man. They're
It
always
is.
doing something.
Yeah, well, because like
Oh.
science teachers can also be coaches. It's like science and history
Hmm.
teachers are also coaches, and like coaches. I mean, I've hung out with dudes who were coaches outside of their job, obviously, and I'm like, these dudes throw down. Like this isn't just this isn't just like
You
on the
got to.
basketball court, football field, like classroom
Those
type of
2 extra
situation.
hours, they change everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Big game changer. People don't get it. And then you got to talk to the parents. You got to deal with the kids. It's like, gosh, it's like going through a whole different day.
Yeah. It's interesting. We're talking about school. I remember looking back, it was like you were talking about like the gossip and stuff. Like what was do you remember like being so interested in what was going on like between teachers? Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, it's like that's what you were just like, for me, it's like, that's what I was thinking about, you know? After a
yeah,
while, it's not even about school. It's just like, I'll do the work when it comes up, but
yeah.
I'm there for, it's like I was like on a reality show or something, like, what's going to go down today?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're like sitting in the lunchroom. You're like, I know that, Miss So and so and Mr. So and so are totally dating. Like they're not even being cool about
Yeah.
it. My buddies would be
Gosh,
like,
we had some crazy situations.
I guess
Oh
we'll
my
find out
gosh.
next season what's going down.
And we would find out over the summer, like we would come back and then we'd know. And it was like, oh, I knew about that. Like so and so got fired. And a teacher always told somebody. One of the teachers
Yeah,
had to leak it to one of the kids because
yeah,
how else? It's not like we can't just not know. Someone
right.
has to know.
Yeah,
It's
did you
only
ever have one of
justice.
those teachers that would like always bring you stuff from like the teacher's lounge if you asked for it? Like I was like, "Hey man, can you hook
Yeah.
me up with the Dr. Pepper?" He'd be like, "Yeah, I'll get you got the coins?"
It was we had it was our basketball coach my freshman year, and he was like he would let you like show up whenever you wanted. And we had one of those big tests. I forgot, it was like the end of the year. I
Like
totally
the
forgot what it was. It was
fitness
like,
ones?
no, it was like the actual like school test, like where we would all be in one classroom for like almost the whole day just testing.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah, like yeah, I don't know. I can't remember all the some
yeah,
abbreviation, right? Yeah.
but he openly allowed everyone that was playing basketball at the time to just camp in his office, and we were all gonna get pizza and just say that we just weren't there, that we were just like sick on that day. And I remember, man, I was on my way over there and I got caught. Someone saw me and they let me have it because a lot of they all knew who I was, but they were like, I was one of those people that kind of like was, they let me do what I wanted, but at a cost. Like sometimes I couldn't. Like at some point I was like, that's enough of this. Get back over there. And they caught
Yeah.
me that time. And man, I was so mad because the whole day I was just testing with people that I didn't talk to, and I was just in the corner just scribbling on stuff, man. It was getting me
Oh
done.
man, that's annoying. That's a good story though. Yeah, no, I never took tests seriously enough. Like I never knew. Like I think I did awful on. I was a terrible test taker. I think I just panicked and I'd start like scribbling stuff. And it because it was weird to me. Like I was doing. I also had like I got diagnosed with like ADD and like all that stuff like everybody does. But tests were not my. I would have done anything to get out of one. I would definitely
Yeah.
like they would have had trouble dragging me into that. Like I knew there was a pizza haven somewhere else. Like you, I was like y'all aren't
Yeah.
taking
And
me
you want me to sit
alive.
here the whole day? You think I'm gonna do that? Yeah, but Like, come on. I mean, you have me here the whole year, and you think I'm gonna do this? It's
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
like, oh yeah, I'll come in there in a sec. Just let me run to the restroom. You're just like,
And then you got people going to the restroom. They're not coming back. Let's not
yeah,
act
yeah,
like they are.
yeah.
Man, he took his backpack, and you would act like he's gonna come back. Man, yeah, there was some crazy times, and then they would even try to go get them. Like, man, just let them go. Let them go. We knew if you could leave, you would leave too. So don't do this.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's
Yeah,
probably the reason why they want you there is because they can't leave either. They're like,
yeah,
we're gonna suffer together.
yeah. I didn't get an email about the pizza party this morning, so now they're gonna make me pay for it.
Yeah, I'll
Man,
bring you a slice. I'm.
like, if you meet me over there, I'll bring you
Yeah,
one. You
yeah.
come
I'll
back
slip you
in.
one under the door. I'll slip you a slice under the door.
Yeah, maybe I'll take some of the test if you let me go. Gosh, man, I hated math. I always say that like I generally just did not like math. I couldn't get into it. For me, it was like I was really good at the beginning when it was like I always say it's like I was able to create my own solution, my own way of doing it. But then
Yeah,
when it got to the point to where it was like I had to follow this method the whole time, I just lost interest. I didn't like it. I like
right.
creating my own solutions for it, and that's what made
Y-
it fun for me. But once they
Yeah,
took it away and I had to do this 30-minute problem of just writing all this nonsense, that's enough. That's enough. Let's see what the guy
I
next to you is
hated,
doing.
yeah, I hated showing my work. That was one of those deals. Like, how
Hmm.
did you get to this answer? I was like, is the answer right? And they were like, yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
then shut up. Like, it doesn't matter. I win. Like, good. Let's
yeah.
move on.
It's right. You don't hear the English teacher telling me, is that right? No one else is saying that. Why do I have to do it here? It's
Yeah, yeah,
ridiculous.
exactly. It was like, I mean, I had an teacher like throw my paper in the trash, like right in front of me. She was like, "This is garbage," and I was like, I got the visual metaphor. You didn't need to say it. Like, thank you so
Yeah.
much."
I, oh, yeah. Now you're just doing it for yourself at that point.
Yeah, I was like,
It's
now you're just now it's like a dramatic flair. I was like, what is this, theater or English? Good God.
yeah. Man, it's ridiculous. What was I gonna say? One time, when I was in eighth grade. I had a whole like thing. We had a teacher, an English teacher, and I had him at the end of the day. So it's like you go through the whole day and you got to go through this at the end. So I had this English teacher, and what he did was he would have us write essays all the time. But his thing that he told us is that we couldn't write about sports because almost all of us were just in sports. At the time, you're not really doing that much outside of it. Like that's like all I did. I went to school and I wrote about sports. Like, what do you want me to write about? Math? I'm not going to write about
Yeah.
any of that. Yeah, you want me to write a whole essay about something else? And so he would always tell me because man, I had nothing to write about. I would write about some random stuff and just like go on and on about it. And he told me one time, he was like, I need to address this to everybody. All right, I need to address this to someone specifically. And he looked right at me. He was like, I want you to know something. And he gave me my essay. He said, you write like a fifth grader. And I remember when he dropped that on me, that was my thing for the whole year. Everyone started telling me that, and they would do like like sometimes they'll mock you in like a baby voice.
Oh
That's what
yeah.
almost everyone started doing to me. They started letting me have it. So end of the year, I had enough. I had enough. So for the final essay, I sat down. I made up some random thing, some random story, and I made it amazing. I was talking about how like I ran for president at my old school, and it was like a big thing. I was about to win, but I found out that it was like corrupted and all that. And you know what? He walked in, and he was so happy about it. He was so happy. He said, "You know what? From now on, you are like a seventh grader." And from there, I kind of like really, I came to rest. I feel like it's like I shut up the haters for the day. They were still mocking me, but it wasn't the same anymore. It was like I leveled up.
Right. What grade were you in?
Eighth, so I didn't make it yet. I wasn't
Okay,
there
I was
yet,
gonna
but
say,
I was.
I was like, okay, I was like, cool, cool. I was like, you were closer though, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
You couldn't
wow.
mock me too hard.
Yeah. He could. He might have been like blown away. He'd be like, "Oh, this is college or high school level." He's like, "But I can't. I can't give him like above the grade that he's in, or he's
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah.
He's got to continue to grow."
Yeah, I gotta stay humble. Gotta stay humble
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
up.
Exactly.
Man, and then after that, I went from that to Macbeth and everything else when I got to high school, and it's like, what am I even writing about anymore? What am I doing with this? Thinking
Yeah.
about Macbeth the whole week. Gosh, man, it was.
Yeah. That's
Ah,
that's fair. Like if you get to, I guess like if you got to like act it out and stuff, it would at least be like maybe embarrassing, but at least a bit more fun because you're like up on your feet and like you get to be ridiculous, or like if you like acting, like you're taking it very seriously and like getting to
my
work with your one of your passions. But
in my senior year, uh, they were. I had a friend who threw me into a drama club, and I remember this was in between sports because I was doing wrestling and then I had baseball, but there was like a little gap, like a small little gap. And he got me to go to drama club. And let me tell you, when I walked in there, I felt like it was a whole different world. Like drama club kids, the way like they carry themselves and what they do, it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I walked into like Broadway or something. Everyone was
right,
like
it
in a snap of a finger. It was different
dude, it's
people
a
around me.
I get on stage in front of people like every weekend, and like that form of vulnerability and like they do through like the portrayal of another person, or like it blows my mind. Like it scares me to death. I could never. Like, and people are like, well, there's not that much difference, and I'm like, yeah, I go on stage as myself with songs that I've written. Like y'all go on playing a completely different person that you've had to like form and work on, and you're going to like throw away and play another one like at another point.
Mhm.
Like that seems wild. Like I could never do that. Like it takes me so much time to, and obviously there's facets of one's own self that they throw into the characters, so it's not like a different journey, it's just a different outlet, which I,
Yeah,
not
I don't think it
not
was
not
very
me,
easy.
man.
Yeah, the funny thing is that I did it. I did one. I was about to do one play, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. I he got me to practice, and I would practice this a lot. I did it in the hallway of the school, so a lot of people saw it. I was trying to act like no one saw it, but it was called like Killing You or something like that. And you want me to? I was playing like I was basically like a serial killer, and I kidnapped somebody, and it was like, oh, I think it was called Killing You. It was like a famous monologue. And I remember he would have me go every single day, and we would practice it. And I was like, gosh, man, like, geez. And the bad part was that I was getting good at it. So it was like, you keep showing up. But there was this final audition, but all three times I was supposed to do the final audition, something else came up. So it just never happened. It never happened. It's like one of those things where it's like, what if? What if I hit
Yeah.
that stage that night?
Well,
You know?
and monologues are tough too. So like if you were nailing it, that's pretty awesome. Like, whether you actually went out for the part and got it or not, like that's still like something like you figured out that that's something you could do. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I should have started spreading some rumors, telling people I was going to be there that day. So they could have all showed up ready to see me. And then, I could have just been like, oh, it was cut last minute change,
You
you
just
know?
got a bunch of like hecklers and people booing the entire show.
Yeah, just had them chant my name, asking
Yeah.
for me.
You're like in the
Uh,
crowd in a disguise, being like, "Oh, we want John."
get it going. And someone would join me. Someone,
Hmm.
someone would have some coach would have had a nice time joining me that day.
That's hilarious.
Oh gosh, I remember talking about coaches, and this is like me just skipping somewhere else now. We would travel. I had a baseball team that I would always play on, and we like would travel, right? And they told a story one time. What happened here was that we were all we had a curfew. We had to be asleep at 10:30 because we played the next day, right? But this is like sponsored. Our team was sponsored, and the
Oh,
sponsors
okay.
would be traveling. The sponsors would travel with us, and
Interesting.
so technically they were the bosses of our coaches, and our coaches, that they were a little younger, they were a little sillier. They would go out, they would have a fun time, and they didn't tell anyone, but they went to a gentleman's club in the middle of the night, got hammered, and one of our sponsors was trying to look for the head coach and was calling them, and last minute was like looking around, and one of the coaches left a location on, and the wife was there, so they woke up the wife, and they went, and they all went, and they got him, and they dragged him back, and I remember none of the coaches hit the field the next day. It was just us. I remember that was a wild time because I was younger. I didn't know about that. I didn't know this was going on. And
Yeah.
then it's like you see the coaches and you're like, all right, that's my coach. That's my coach right there. But I felt like I was on a what was that movie called? The Bad News Bears. That's what I was feeling like. I felt like I was on one of those.
Is that this
You know?
Billy Bob Thornton stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
no, that would yeah, that's pretty funny though. Like as I never I mean like see if that ever happened, I wasn't aware of it as a kid. I remember just like it was usually like the kids that were up to like stuff. Like I remember like we went on one trip and there was like this I don't know what happened, but like they were like a new couple and like one of them was like a friend of mine and the other one was like a girl who just transferred to our school. But like it's like the middle of the night and I hear this like loud banging and yelling and cussing and it's like my buddy Dakota and he's like trying to beat this door down. Which is like a cabin that this girl's staying in that he's like just started dating like a month ago and like I don't remember what happened, but it was like very dramatic and we were all up to like 3 or 4 a.m. and someone's parents had to come and get somebody and it was like it was always the kids that were doing stuff. Like the adults were like I'm sure like when we all went to bed they might have like snuck out and like smoked a joint or like drank a beer or something. But like
Oh yeah.
they were
Yeah.
all pretty like they were doing their best to be adults. Your story is hilarious. Like I would love to find out that like one of my old coaches or teachers or like room advisors got like busted at a strip club when they should have been getting ready for game 6 or something like that.
Getting ready for that game. Man, that probably was how they got ready for the games. They just finally got caught.
Right, right.
Uh,
Everyone's got their pregame rituals, man. We don't
mhm.
judge.
We don't- yeah, and you always feel bad for the because there's always that one kid that wanted that sleep. That ended up staying up to like 4 o'clock with everyone else.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's always
What?
that one that
Well, well, yeah. It's always the one that wants to go to sleep that can't go to sleep. That's what. Yeah.
mhm.
I never put
He's
that.
just
I
there.
never put that pressure on myself. I'm like, I'm just gonna lay here. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah, especially if like there's nowhere for you to go and you're just kind of just there. You start going down and then someone wakes you up for some reason, or like you're the random person that gets woken up just so you can like be a part of it. Why
Yeah.
why are you
Well,
waking me up?
yeah. Any little bit of excitement is enough to like get you going in that type of situation. That's.
Yeah, I feel like kids feel like they have the need to wake everybody up. Like everyone has to be a part of this.
Yeah, like Christmas morning vibes. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah,
like
we
jumping on
gotta
your
get
bed.
going. I used to do that. I would get up at 5 a.m. and I'd get the party started. Man, and I go back to
I
bed and
My parents started letting me watch television because I was the same. I'd get up about 5:30, and I would turn on like an MTV or a CMT or something like whatever was on back then. I remember it was like a huge deal when like the first time we got like direct TV or like satellite or whatever, and you had like all those channels. It was just like cartoons were where is it? I still like classic Looney Tunes stuff or like classic
I love Looney
Scooby Doo
Tunes.
or anything like that, especially if it was a Saturday morning, you know?
Yeah. Gosh, yeah. I used to buy so many DVDs. Only if I knew that streaming movies would become so popular now.
Right.
I remember when I first got Netflix. It was that was a crazy world. I entered a crazy world that day.
Yeah, it's like cut down though. Like I don't have like satellite or cable anymore. Like I just do stream. I don't watch a lot of TV as it is. Like I work on my computer a lot and I browse on my phone. And then the evenings are usually like allotted for, like TV time and stuff like that. But I don't, it's with all there is today, whether it's like, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, like whatever, like you have everything you need there. Like, they have,
Mm-hmm.
ESPN even has like a deal if you're like, if it's sports only for you, Uh,
Yeah, it's different.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice though. Like it's all quick, it's all easy.
Yeah. You don't have to wait for it to show up. You don't have to be home.
Right.
You could just watch it later on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's constant, it's people can steal your passwords and do all sorts of stuff, but like the convenience of everything is nice, you know.
so, hold on, I'm gonna take a little drink real quick.
Celsius break.
Yeah, Celsius break. Another 20 seconds and oh man, gosh, it's oh. So I totally forgot what I was gonna ask. That Celsius changed a lot of things right now. Uh, man, so when you started like writing music, how did it come to you? Like I always imagined, and this was like a weird thing I would imagine. I would always imagine like when people like would write songs, it would be like you'd wake up and you'd walk outside, the birds were chirping, and it was like such a beautiful moment that you would just burst out into song, and that's like kind of just how it happened. Like it would just like come out of you like randomly. Especially like I feel like if you did it so long, and this is like your passion, like I feel like it just like that's just the way you would talk. Basically, it's just singing.
You know what? It's not, for that's for it
Kind of
being like an
ridiculous.
imagined thing, like it's not that far off. Like it's really not. Like you could literally, like for instance, like I wrote a song a couple months ago and it's called Carolina Wren. And that's because
Mm.
I have this app on my phone and it's like a bird identifier because I travel so much. If like I'm just bored and I'm sitting there and I hear something, I was like, that's an interesting call. And I'll click the deal and it'll like the audio pick up and tell me what bird it is. So like I was sitting in my backyard and I was like, oh, that's cool. There's like multiple of these. So I hit the bird app and it told me it was a Carolina Wren and I had my guitar out there and I was trying to like force myself to write a song. Um, and it wasn't working, but then I saw that on my phone and that song, I just started writing that song. And it was done, within 30 to 40 minutes. But it's you're constantly inspired. Like you might not be like waking up and like your life is a musical, like it's like good morning, but like it's you're constantly inspired by every interaction that you have, like whether you're a songwriter or not. Like you meet people, you talk about something, like it inspires some sort of thought that may lead you to like your next endeavor or something like that. It's not dissimilar in that sense of like all of these experiences that we're gathering could be songs, could be poems, could be movie scripts, like that could be a part in a movie, like that could very like your teachers your coaches at the strip club, that could be something from a Seth Rogen,
Yeah,
Paul
okay.
Rudd movie. It's just it's
Get a
not
little
like,
movie going.
yeah, like it's an idea. We're all using and balancing all these ideas and bouncing them around, and it's kind of never ending. But yeah, I mean, it's inspired by like moments or like as you said, like walking outside, like a breeze could hit you and it could inspire an idea. Like and it's just like I think it's always where your mind's at. Like whether you do something or don't do something, it's where you are, where your mind's at, like how you're aligned that day, so to speak. So like if you're in the headspace and like the way I describe it, like, you know, open to receiving an idea or anything, like if you're not bogged down by like a to-do list or something, but you're like a fresh palette right there, and something lands on that palette, it could very easily turn into something, bigger than just that thought. So, uh,
Hmm.
and it's always happening. Like, could be happening right now.
Could be happening to you right now.
Could be happening right now.
You ever like had someone like a friend of yours or someone like start singing your song? Let's say like you are out at the bar or something. Too many drinks going on for them. They start like singing your song, and it's just like it sounds so bad that you just don't want to. You don't even want to hear your song for a little bit. Like you need a few days off.
Sometimes, yeah, and it's not that it's that, it's just that like I don't listen to myself. Like as soon as I record a song, like and release it, or like record a voice memo and I write it, like I'm not going back to listen to myself, because I don't really inspire me. Like I love to do what I do, but like I'm not gonna listen to myself to come up with more ideas for myself. So like I just leave it where it is. That's the moment, and I move on. But like I've had buddies. The worst thing is like when I go somewhere with a friend and like I'm on their playlist, like on their Spotify or iTunes playlist, and they forget that I'm in the car with them, and like I come on their radio and I'm in the car, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like it was like, well, man, I enjoy listening to this when you're not here, and I was like, well, I enjoy you listening to it when I'm not here as well. Like let's do that.
Yeah. I always thought about that. Like, do you just like sit down and just like listen to yourself with everyone around you? Like when they play it, it's like, oh, that must be like kind of weird. Like to hear like yourself and just kind of just listen to it, like jam out to yourself singing, knowing that it's you.
It's the most uncomfortable thing. Like the only time I think that that's like if a song has just been released and I'm in the room and somebody wants to share it with people who've never heard me, like I think that's acceptable. But like, and the other thing is flattering. Like it's all flattering, and it's nice that they even want to listen to you, right? Like that's if you didn't have people that wanted to listen, it would be very hard to do. Um but like it that there's certain situations where like in my mind it's less cringy. It never feels like fully okay internally, but it's less cringy in certain situations. Like, oh man, I just got my mix back. You want to like all get together and listen to this real quick and tell me what you think? Stuff like that is fine. uh but yeah, there's even bars that I play that like, they have playlists of like the artists that'll play there, and I'll be setting up, and like you just forget sometimes because you're thinking about, it's like, oh, is this wire plugged into is everything, do I have everything? And then like in the background you'd be like, wait a minute, that's me. And you just like look at the bartender, you're like, hey, will you skip the song? I was like, this, I don't want to hear me.
What I hear,
Like,
me.
I'm gonna play this live later, and if they think the recording sounds better than me, it's gonna be tough.
Be a rough night, especially with all the coaches that are probably there.
Yeah,
They,
exactly. Oh yeah,
they need
I
it.
know I got coaches and crowds for sure.
Yeah. They got to relate to somebody, man. They got to.
Yeah, it's the guy with like the shot glass in one hand and the Miller Lite in the other. He's like ready to, let's do this.
Especially especially the ones that go like 0-20 for the year, man. They need something. They need to have something to enjoy.
Right, right. Well, because in that situation, like depending on what level you're on, you're you're worried about your job. It's
Not only your job, now you gotta go the next day and have another 8 hours with some random kids that you don't. It's like, gosh,
right,
man, I'm teaching. I gotta go
right.
from teaching science to coaching now.
Yeah,
And that one person will finally bust you, and it's all over.
yeah.
Oh gosh,
Wrong strip club, wrong time, man.
no movie about you. Just another person. You're not getting a movie. Uh, just thinking about that time. It's
Just stumbling back down memory lane there.
He's thinking about all of it. Yeah, I actually I had a cousin who had mentioned you the other day. I was at a resort. We were all together. His name's Ruben Ruiz, and yeah, we were no Celsius. We were having just playing a whole bunch of country music, and it was like just one of those times where we're just talking about a whole bunch of nonsense. You know, like you ever catch yourself just like saying nonsense, and it's like just like kind of just going on to where it's like, you know,
Every day.
like,
Every
what are
day.
we doing here? Like, yeah, like earlier we were like talking about. I was telling this story, and me and you were just like going back and forth about it. It's like, man, this is like going a whole different area
Is
now.
that, yeah, we've talked about school for 20 minutes.
Just going on and on. Yeah, but then he brought you up, and I remember I heard one of your songs a lot before. Was it "Burn This House Down"? Right?
Oh, yeah.
I like that song. I really like that song.
Thank
Man,
you.
I was playing it earlier, and I actually funny thing, if you would have joined right at 1 o'clock, you would have heard it, and it would have been on. And I was like, oh, that'd be kind of weird, like me just like jamming out to the song, and he joins. It's like you just hear me like kind of. You're not like imagine this. Like imagine like you become friends with somebody, right? And let's say like y'all would like go out a lot, and you finally like they do something at their place, and you show up, and you see like a whole bunch of stuff of you, like like a whole bunch of like photos, all like songs and stuff, like everything is you. How would you feel about that?
I would say that that's a bit weird. Like that seems kind of like stalker, like I have a shrine of you type of situation. Like it would be different if I knew that like if they were friend, because I have people that come to my shows that like I've been doing this for like a long time now, and it's some of the people have become my friends. So like I know that they've come to a show and they bought some vinyl, or they bought a T-shirt, or they bought a hat, they bought CDs. Like there's a guy who buys my CDs and has me sign them, and he frames them, and he's got a wall in his basement that's just like filled with like some of his favorite singer songwriters. Um, but like you're talking about a situation where that's not what's going down. Like these people just like have stuff, and it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that
No,
is.
that would be weird because it feels like, I feel like I should have known that ahead of time. Like if
Mhm.
it's okay. Are you about to kill me? Like, am I the final piece of your collection? Do you need the actual me for this to be real?
Yeah, that's where they have you sit down, start playing some songs for them, and then just sitting there, just staring at you, like nothing's even happening.
Yeah,
Oh man.
I think that on a that's the beauty of being on like a controlled, like what is success to you, like for me, like I get to travel, and like I could pay all my bills, and I like survive doing what I do and what I love, and I book a lot of my most of my own shows, and get to travel the state and the country, and it's but it's at a certain level of success. Like I'm sure a lot of people have to deal with avoiding people like that, but I feel like where I'm at, it's stable, and so are my fans. Like mentally, like there's nobody
Yeah.
who's like obsessively after me, which I think with a certain level of fame, like some people can like deitize like famous people a little bit, and like it's for me, just like a certain level of success is ideal because you don't have to deal with that. Like you have to be more guarded,
Mhm.
and you can't you lose a lot of your humanity because you become such an entity. And I think
Mhm.
on a certain and I think that's why people kind of enshrine you in their houses and do weird stuff like that, is because you feel so untouchable. So they feel like they have to put you there instead. So like I would be very shocked if I walked into a situation like that. I think I would just probably leave and still feel bad about it. Like, but I
I
would
think
just
about it.
leave.
Give him a call later on. On a no caller ID, just to let him know that I didn't mean it. It wasn't my fault.
Yeah, or did just
Uh,
maybe say like, "Hey man, there's like probably like if you're gonna do this in the future with somebody, like probably just give them like a heads up. Like be like,
yeah,
like the sixth time y'all hang out, be like, okay, like just in case you come over, like I don't want this to be weird, but like I got a lot of stuff of yours on my wall that you don't know I have, and I'm like, okay, like cool, like what? Like what are we talking about here? Like a
like just a
Kleenex
piece
that
of
I
your hair.
used? Like there's a lot of different levels. It's like a code
Uh,
orange or we at like green. Like where are we at here?
uh, uh, hey, you got me. I've been collecting a piece of your hair every time we hang out. You got
That's
me.
see like stuff like that.
Red-handed.
Like that would be like how? Like do I have a weird bald spot somewhere?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be crazy. So, let's say, how do you feel about like going to parties or like kind of like a time to hang out? Like people just want to hang out and they want you to play for them.
I'm okay with that. I think like a lot of the parties that I go to like hang out with people, it's usually with other musicians. And like family parties, like it's depending on the setting, like usually like somebody will want a song or like if it like if somebody hasn't seen me in a while, they're like out of state or something, like I'll do that. I don't mind. I like what I do and I'll do it pretty much anywhere, but there's certain settings that it's not I don't think it's called for, and there's others where it's like, but like I said, a lot of the parties that I go to are with like songwriter friends, and so like guitars are usually on the invitation as well. Like it's some kind of like campfire, like like bonfire guitar party or something like that.
Mhm.
Uh, like some kind of tailgate situation or hangout. But sometimes it's co-writes that just turn into parties, and so our guitars are already there. Like we'll finish a song and people are like, "What are you doing?" It was like, "Oh, we're over here writing and jamming, like swing by if you're free," and then it's just like 10 other people show up out of nowhere, and it's
Okay. Swing by if you're free. Well, everyone's
yeah.
free. Let's do this. Man. Do you do you ever like you ever done karaoke? You do karaoke?
I've done karaoke, and it's I like it's the opposite of the way that I am with sports. Like I don't really watch sports, but I always like to play sports, right? But with karaoke, like I like to watch karaoke. I don't really like I'll do it, but it's not like my favorite thing. Like for me, like karaoke has always been a spectator sport. Like I want to see somebody get up there and either blow my mind or just be like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's it's one of those things where I'm just like I kind of want to, you know, I want to see a train wreck,
You
like
want to see something happen? And some people hate on it though, because some people will be like, "Oh, well, now you're just trying to make this about you. Like you knew you could do this. You were just waiting for someone to let you do it." When a
right,
lot of them say like karaoke is supposed to be like, you're a few drinks in, you don't know what's going on. Go out there, let it rip, and let's see what happens.
right. See, that's what I want to see. So like I don't usually like it's also like if I'm going somewhere and I'm not like if I'm going somewhere like that, chances are I've already come from singing somewhere else. So like I just don't want to sing anymore because I'm spent for the day. Because after like a 3 or 4 hour set, you're like usually good. Uh, but the
You've had enough.
yeah, so you just want to like chill it and enjoy the show. But yeah, so I don't like I will do it, but like I said, it's not something that I'm gonna be like, yeah, let's go do karaoke. Um, Yeah, but I love watching karaoke. I went to a place. My fiance and I, we go on cruises occasionally, like every however many years or so. The last one we went on, I was excited because when we went on the one prior, I the karaoke was like so bad that it was like fantastic, and I was like excited about going and seeing some more. And everybody on the ship sang show tunes, like they did like musical numbers and show tunes, and I was like, this is like my hell. Like I don't like I like I want to hear like a terrible version of Zombie by like the Cranberries, like
I want
like
some emotions get in there. I want to see someone start crying. That's what I want to see. I want to see like, I can't do this anymore. I don't know why I have this mic in my hand.
right,
I want to see
right.
someone
Yeah,
needs to
no,
start confessing something.
it was wild though. Like I was like this shouldn't be like if there were like karaoke laws, I feel like this should be one of them. You can't do this, you know.
Hmm. Gosh, yeah. Sometimes people gets carried away.
Mhm.
Ah, it's like when you give those speeches and some people will like give like a 20-minute speech, like it's like a toast or something, and they just start talking about what they did today. They talk about like their career and all that, and it makes it kind of about them. But I feel like
Right.
some people wait for the moment. Some people are always waiting for the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, I think there's a lot of I mean, I feel like we've all done that before in some capacity too. It's one of those things hopefully like somebody says something or you realize and you learn from it because that's just not if you're like if not everybody is feeling involved and like it's all you know we're here together, are we all enjoying this, you want everybody to have a good time, and those are the bad tangents that can happen for sure.
And it just kicks in, and it's like you don't know at first. You're kind of just like yapping along and just letting it fly, and then you catch yourself later, and you think about it later. And that's when you gotta send like an email or something, a little letter saying I'm sorry to the
Yeah,
person, and
like
maybe something.
yeah, like a formal apology to everybody that
Uh,
was there. It's like, yeah, I don't know what happened, I'm sorry, y'all.
but you, but you said it. You only send it to one person and have them do it. So it's like you don't have to hear what they have to say back.
Oh my God, that's it. You're the
or
only one I
you,
care about actually being upset, so I didn't bother saying this.
or you do like in a group chat. It's a group chat, so like they can't get too mad because then everyone else is gonna see. That's an easy way to get out of it.
Yeah, and then somebody doesn't have like an iPhone and they're in green and they're like, "Who is this?"
And it starts a whole different problem, and no one even knows what's going on anymore.
Then you
And
got to
someone just
send
randomly just
another
starts talking.
apology for that. It's just this endless loop.
Someone just starts talking about their day. Someone talks about like talking about. Someone's always asking a random question. Where can I find this? I ran out
Yeah,
of deodorant. Where can I get some more? We're not even talking about that. I'm sorry for this anymore. That's how you do it. You get it
yeah,
away from you.
yeah. There you
You
go.
know.
That's so funny.
I always found it interesting. I think it's one of the most interesting things like ever, that people like will be on their phone, but then they'll text someone about how to do something, or like how do you do this, how do you do that, instead of just looking it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Well,
always
because
been
like
very
there's
interesting.
plenty of YouTube tutorials and stuff like that. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
that's like when like you have everything at your fingertips in a matter of seconds as long as you know what to look for. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they just don't know what to look for.
Yeah, like and I feel like sometimes you're kind of just like you're just texting that person just to text them. Like you just wanted to find a reason to message me about something, like you know, uh, something about plumbing. Like you're asking like Billy about plumbing when Billy's 10 years old. Like, what is he going to tell you? It doesn't make any sense.
He watches Bob the Builder all day. He's
Like,
got to pick up something, man.
he's got to know something at this point.
What am I
You're
paying for
texting,
this cable for?
you're texting Bobby about how to join ballet somewhere. When what is this? You know, I had
This
someone one time. Oh, my dad would always do this. He would text me about the most random things ever. He would he would tell me about something. I think one time it was about some class. It was like some class somewhere, and I didn't know anything about this. And he would start telling me about it, and then he would ask me about it, like how to do it. And I'm like, I don't know what we're even talking about. You know, I'm trying to eat my lunch, and you're telling me about that's something you found today, and then you're asking me about it, and then it's like, I don't know.
like trying to see if you'd be interested in it as well, or like what's the
It's like I don't know. I really don't know. That's
we
where I just
still
get
we
lost.
still don't know to this day. We're not sure what's going on here.
And then sometimes you get lost in someone's conversation, and you just start saying yeah to stuff, and then you gotta you gotta be careful before you find yourself in something, And then a few days later, you get a text asking if you're coming, and it's like, what am I even showing up to? And then, gosh, that's the worst right there. Or like I've had times like that where I was like talking to someone about something, and I zoned out, and I just agreed to something random, and I get a message, and it's like, hey, where you at? Or are you still coming? It's like, gosh, man, I'm not even in town. No, I'm somewhere else.
Oh, I will not. Yeah, that could be that could definitely be a problem. I'll be like, I'm sorry, I was not listening. Will you please repeat? Like I'm not getting myself in that type of situation. Cause I mean, for sure, it's easier to deal with it in the moment than it is to like just like not show up. Cause I'll feel terrible if I don't show up. I don't want to, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Hey,
like
did you
try.
get the tickets?
Yeah,
What tickets am I supposed to get here? And then you're like, yeah, I did. I did get the tickets. And then you text someone else. That's when you go to someone else. Hey, did you get the tickets? They're like, hey, I was supposed to get the tickets. You take it off. Go to
I was
someone
like, yeah,
else.
you don't remember?
And then they'll
You
take it.
you said you would get the ticket. You just like completely dump it on another. And you're like, yes. I didn't learn
And then they dump it back
anything.
to the other person. It's like a big triangle of everyone dumping it on each other.
I thought
Someone's
you
gonna
said he
bite.
was
Someone's
gonna
gonna be
do it.
like,
I
all right,
thought
I'll
he
get them.
said you were gonna do it. That's
And then
hilarious. And nobody
everyone's
ends
in
up
trouble.
getting the tickets.
And like, all right, I don't even want to go. And then you just throw that out there. What do you mean you didn't want to go? Hey,
I wasn't listening. You're like, fine, you got me. I wasn't paying attention. Fine.
uh, someone always says that. Someone will throw it out there.
Yeah, it would
What
usually
are we
be
even
me.
talking about, man? We're saying some random stuff here.
We
We're just
are. Well,
yapping.
it's just yeah. It's I mean, it's
We've just been
conversation.
yapping the whole time.
Yeah, conversation leads to conversation. Yeah.
This is making me think about my coach. Just thinking about the
You
times.
you you be
Man,
thinking
imagine
about
that.
the coach strip club story all day.
Yeah, I'll start. Yeah, I used to. What was it? Like, did you ever play any sports?
Yeah, I played. Uh, man, I played golf, basketball, baseball, football, tennis. Even tennis at one point. If you could play it, I tried to play it. Soccer. Like I liked everything. Um, I wasn't ever like star athlete material. I just didn't. I like the just the workout of the whole process. I
Hmm.
think for me, it was good for me. It like ran me down, and I felt like less anxious. So
Were you like really cool with the coach? With the coaches? Were they really cool with you?
it really depended on the coach. Like it really like I'm a very chill person, but like so I don't respond well to like aggressive types of dudes, especially insecure aggressive dudes. And like my football coach specifically was the exact person I'm describing, and like we would literally like I would cuss at him, like that we found out at one point that his Is it something, I don't know who said what, but I found out at one point that his wife made more money than he did. And so I used that against him a lot on the field. Like
Oh man.
I went for the jugular usually, because, but it wasn't because I didn't do that with everybody. It was just because he was such a big child to me. Like, as a child, looking at him, it was like watching a kid walking around wearing an adult costume. He's like, "Oh, I don't have to do stuff that you do because I'm an adult." And I was like, "Yeah, but you don't act like one. The other ones act like one. You don't. Like, you don't have my respect." But most of my coaches, I loved him very. Like my middle school basketball coach, his name is Coach Press. I loved him. Uh, he got it. Like, he was great with kids. And there's been a few others that I like, but that guy, not a fan.
Yeah, definitely. I had a coach for baseball, and it was this kid's dad. It was like one of those like fall, like he would like take team on the summer
Gotcha.
in
Yeah,
football.
yeah.
So it's like he would always say like, "Oh, I have the coach's number. I'll text him." But man, he used to get him. He would yell in my face all the time, especially when I was a freshman, because I still like playing basketball. I would always play basketball, and I would miss some of the games, like the preseason games, and man, he would spam me. He let me have it. I remember I would be pitching a lot. He tried to always make me pitch because I would just like I wasn't practicing like that. So it's like I was every game I would be up there and I'd end up doing something. Something would happen. He would get in my face. He would yell in my face, and man, I used to have nightmares. So I would go to sleep, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta do this tomorrow. Oh, I gotta do this day." Man, it was ridiculous. Gosh, baseball was it was the stress of my life, and just thinking about it now, just
Like it shouldn't be though. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you're not gonna like pursue something professionally, like, it's just like an elective that you've chosen to do. Like, there's so many. Like, there's some parents are very like, they're pressuring their kid to like go far in football or baseball or something. But like, if you're just trying to play sports because you enjoy like the activity, or like just being out there with your friends or something, like, people need to chill out. Like, I think it's become such a cliche, like with movies like Friday Night Lights, like everybody's trying to produce the next star athlete or like the next LeBron or something like that. It's like, if it happens, it happens. Stop putting so much pressure on it. Like, that was those, like, Michael Jordan chose to be great. LeBron James chose to be great. They applied themselves to this thing that they loved because they wanted to keep doing it. Like, the next person you see that does that will be that next person. That's just how it works. Like, it pisses me off. I'm
like
sorry.
it does. It'll get me going too. You know, I tell people all the time, man. I talk about it a lot. It's like, why are you forcing yourself to do all these things? But it's always because of someone else. Every time
Yeah.
it's always like someone else wants you to do it, so that's why you end up doing it. It takes a while to break from that, definitely. Uh, that Celsius is really getting me. I'm gonna finish this real quick, and then I got a story. I got a story for you after this. Oh, yeah. Gosh, man, back then I would never drink energy drinks like ever. Oh, there's a little bit left. I would never drink them. But when I got my first job was at a Chick-fil-A, and you know where La Cantera is?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's not far from me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Chick-fil-A La Cantera. It's off record. It is the worst rated Chick-fil-A in San Antonio.
Like, the what
So
is that, like at the mall? You mean?
yeah, it's attached to the mall. It's
Okay,
not
that's
attached to the
right.
mall.
Yeah.
And that was my first job. Right out of high school, I hit it, got in there, and I remember, man, it was really interesting. Like I thought it was so interesting because I always thought that when you would go work like somewhere, it was like you got perfect. Like it was like a perfect kind of thing. Like if you messed up, you're fired. You're out of there.
Oh.
So I got in there, and it was my first day. They told me to go scrub the back, and for 35 minutes, I was scrubbing one corner to try to get one thing off, and I just hear people giggling at me, and I turned around, and it was all the managers, and they walked up to me like, "What are you?" And they said, "What are you doing?" Like, They said you don't have to be doing all that. It was just like for a minute, and then you could just go do whatever. And after that, it was like do whatever you want. That's what it became. At that place, it's like do whatever you want. Like you'd be in the back, just you're doing who knows what. Like I'd be walking around, I'd be doing a whole bunch of nonsense. I would climb to the top on the second floor, and I would just lay there for like 30 minutes, and then just come back down, and just start talking to people about some random stuff. And it was bad. There was a lot of bad things happening there, but we would work some long shifts. Like I remember it was Christmas, and the week going after Christmas, New Year's, I worked like 68 hours that week. And I remember like you were there all day. The managers worked 82 hours, so they worked open to close every single day of that week. But what we would do was we would have so many. There would be so many Red Bulls, and it was like it was Red Bulls, and it was Ghost. I don't know if you ever heard of the Ghost energy drinks.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
These things are dangerous. These things are getting dangerous now. So going to the shift, chug a Red Bull. Halfway through the shift, chug another Red Bull. End of the day, getting ready to close, put that Ghost down. And I remember it was like I would walk around. I felt like I was seconds away from a heart attack. Like things were bad. It was
You're
like
just all like sweating.
yeah. If someone bumped into me, I was gonna pass out. Like it was, gosh. But it was New Year's, so you got to get a little wild.
Oh yeah,
But I
the
feel
end
like
of the year. That's the end of the year lag, man. Like we're all. It's wild. I complain about this every year. Like we're exhausted by the end of the year from like working, and then they put all of the like family functions and holidays like boom, boom, boom. It's just like okay, we got to
let
get
it
together
fly.
for Thanksgiving. It's like all right, I'll see you in 3 weeks. Christmas, New Year's.
And some people are like, "Hey, let's have a barbecue." Oh, it's Jimmy's birthday next week.
Yeah.
Let's all meet again.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
a. I was talking to somebody that like all of their. Do you have like that time of like the year when like it seems like everybody's birthday is all at once?
it's been these past 2 months for
Oh,
us.
okay. For
Yeah.
me, it's like August, September. Like
Mm.
those are the 2 months where like everybody decided to be born that I am friends with,
Yeah.
or related to. Like it's wild.
Just change it. Let's change it after a while.
Yeah, it was
Who
like,
would know?
hey, can you move your birthday to like February? That'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna know. Just change it.
It's like I realize it's your birthday's today, but I won't be celebrating it for like another 8 months just because I can't right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like, hey, I get it. Your son's turning 1 years old, but let's change it. He's not gonna know. What is he gonna remember?
Yeah,
Just
there's
tell him,
so
hey.
many more birthdays after that. Like he'll be fine. I'll show up for like the
Yeah.
5th, like when he's actually like,
That's when we start counting.
yeah, yeah,
That's when he learns my name. That's when you gotta do it. If he doesn't know who I am, why am I there?
exactly,
That's what
exactly.
I do. I'm sure he'd be happier if I wasn't there.
We're there. I'm sure someone would say you're there for the family, or you're there for everybody else. You're here for your
Mm-hmm.
sister, or whatever.
Man, that's some crazy stuff. I find it
Yeah,
weird. I keep looking down here. I'm not using. I never do this, but I'm looking down here so much, and my camera's all the way over here. It's like over there, and I never had this problem. But for some reason today, I keep looking down, and like I'm
well, it's
just
like
staring
because
down the whole
we're
time.
used to looking at the person that we're
Mm-hmm.
talking to, and so you're looking at me on the screen, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you
So
know, it's
that's why
like
right now you see me look all the way down here.
it kind of reminds me of during the pandemic, we would all like so they canceled shows, so a lot of venues or like publication places would have us do like Facebook lives, like live performances, and it was so awkward. Like Facebook
Yeah.
lives or like I never do like the TikTok lives or anything like that. I probably should, but uh, it's just so weird having the like, because if you're like further away from your phone, you can't see the comments. Like if you're doing it on a computer, like you're sometimes like not always looking at the screen because it's weird. But like there's just like you know, at a live show, there's a certain, you know, there's timing
that.
and
Yeah.
spacing of stuff. But like when you're on there, you just have to like, you're like, oh, that's right. I just keep going. We're not interacting here really that much. Like occasionally you're talking to somebody, or if like a song request comes through, you'll acknowledge that. But
Yeah.
it was uncomfortable.
No one's gonna buy me a drink. I gotta just keep playing.
Right, right, yeah, but it's, you know, it's in that situation, like you forget that you're like, you know, supposed to be looking at like you're playing, that's your audience right there. So like, it's like you should be looking there, but you're just like, you know, because at live shows, you're like, sometimes you're outside and I'm just looking at like a pretty view, or like the drama that's happening in this corner or that corner, or like sometimes
Yeah.
directly in front of me.
Two dogs fighting.
Yeah, like it's but in this situation, just like it's your quiet room at the end of a song. So it's it's I did not like that. I could never get comfortable with it.
How long did that go on for before like they actually like started having live shows again?
Well, some places did. It's just like kind of where you were at personally.
Hmm.
But I mean, at some point they forced everybody. I would say for like a year at least. Well, maybe like man, I don't know. I can't really remember. I would say 8 months to a year is like how long it was actually closed down, but it felt like so much longer than that. Like if I didn't think about it, I would have said 2 years like that. But I was like, no, it wasn't that long though. It just felt like it. Because you're so used to like having some of your weekdays open, and then your weekends, it's like usually from Thursday to Sunday, it's like boom boom boom, you know. But in that situation, it was just like house like every every day. It's like find some way to keep myself sane while here or whatever, you know. Yeah, it was it never got cozy for me. I was very glad to get back out there.
Well, uh, we did hit the limit. That was a 125. Actually, usually I only go like average episodes like 30 minutes, so we're pretty good over. It's been going on, but I appreciate you coming on, man. You know, I know we were yapping for a good amount of time, and hey, that's just what happens, right?
Burning memories till